That following year, 1997, Seinfeld is airing season 9, episode 10, The Strike. Frank revives Festivus, his Christmas alternative. George invents a charity. Kramer ends his bagel shop strike, and Elaine pursues a free sandwich. Hilarity ensues.
As always. And right away, I mean, we get to see one of the people we've met in these Seinfeld, Steve, Tim Watley, newly Jewish.
Yeah.
Celebrating Hanukkah. The whole gang's here, or at least most of them. Jerry, George, and Elaine. Elaine's getting her fake number set because she's getting the eyes from this other dude at the party that we're just going to call Denim Guy.
You know his real name?
Well, who is it?
They have him credited as Steve. They said Denim Vest, but in parentheses it says Steve. So
Steve. Well, yeah. Steve is played by Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall, who's one of the funniest people from that show, and is an odd-looking dude.
He is,
especially in denim.
Perfect for a cameo. They really like those oddball kind of cameos from time to time.
I like when she's like, "Oh, I like those metal buttons," and he's like, "Those aren't buttons; those are snaps."
And while that's happening, Jerry, he chats it up with a chick.
She's looking sexy in it, and they just strike it up. So Jerry, he's enjoying himself. He's getting some digits.
Back to Elaine, it looks even easier. Because the guy, Steve, Denim Vest, he's just like, maybe we should go out sometime. This is after only talking to her for 30 seconds. It's like, you know what? Why don't I give you my phone number?
And I forget what she says the fake number is. It's got too many digits, but this is her plan, Steve. I feel like all women actually have this and probably need to.
Oh, I know.
But
I've been on the receiving end of those fake numbers.
Yeah.
More than I'd like.
Man, I can't wait to call her. I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. You call tomorrow morning. Boo-doo-doo.
You dirty bitch.
It never happened to me, but I remember for a while there was like a fake number where you called it and it had like a shitty message that it was just like that number to call. So I never got that, but yeah, I don't think Denim Vest is going to be getting laid anytime soon, Steve.
He doesn't deserve it. Look at him. Now we cut to Jerry and George. They're at Monk's. I guess George, he called in sick.
Too many kosher cocktail weenies at that party. So he got a little stomach ache. He pulls a card out from Tim Watley, Steve. He's excited. Maybe there's something in it. He got Tim some Yankees tickets, so he's expecting something good. But when he opens up, he's pissed. A charitable donation, Steve. And he's furious.
He can't get jiggy to this.
I can't get jiggy to this shit.
He basically gave his gift to a child's organization. It's like, I didn't ask for this.
He gave my gift to somebody else. This is one of the best George episodes because he gets so pissed off in this. So it's starting now. The fire's building.
Elaine, she's there by this time, and she lets the guys know that I got 24 stamps. She needs 24 stamps, I guess, and she gets a free sandwich. So Elaine is elated. I'm one stamp away from getting this free sandwich.
Yeah, but they're like, isn't that hoagie shop shitty? She's like, yeah, but still, free sandwich.
That's when I think George sees the card, and he's just like, oh, this is the Festivus. Elaine's like, what's the Festivus? And he just keeps trying to shush him.
Shut up. George is not having it. He does not like Festivus, whatever that is. We don't really know what it is yet. He's not a fan. So then we cut to Jerry's. Elaine, wanting to get that next sandwich, to get that final punch, she's going through her pockets and she's like, where's my shopper's card? Where is it? And she realizes that fake number she gave to Denim Vest was written on the back of that frequent shopper's card. So the 23 gross sandwiches that she ate, Steve, that means nothing.
Down the drain. Kramer, he gets a call. You don't know what's being said, but when he gets off the call, he's like, great, the strike's been settled. I'm going back to work. And they're like, what strike? I've been on strike for 12 years. H&H, they wouldn't let me use their bathroom while we were out picketing.
It's been 12 years, Steve. So he's going back to H&H. And they're like, what were you guys striking about? And he's like, we want $5.35 an hour for our wage. And I guess that was like the new minimum wage. And Kramer's like, exactly. You're welcome. Okay. I gotta hit the road. But Jerry and Elaine, as anybody who's watched Kramer on the show, they're like, this guy had a job? Because he doesn't appear to be employed. So we cut to H&H Bagels. Kramer shows back up. He's like, it's the old spot. What's up, everybody? And he shows up expecting like all of his old comrades to be at H&H, but the guy working's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm off strike. I was expecting all my buddies to be here. Where are they at?" And the guy's like, "Well, I was assumed that they got other jobs after 12 years, but
Yeah.
you're the only one that showed up." So he's like, "You know what? I need some holiday help. You can work for us." And it doesn't look like it's gonna go good because Kramer like instantly looks at a raisin bagel. He's like, "What is this?" "That's a raisin bagel." And he's like, "Never thought I'd see the day." Like it's this new, it's like alien technology.
This novel idea, this raisin, this bagel. Now we're at the horse track betting place, and Elaine's there. So she's talking to the guy at the booth. He's like, "So you're Elaine Bennis.
Mhm.
Hey, Charlie, look who's here. Elaine Bennis." And Charlie looks crazy, by the way.
He's taken every last hit out of the computer duster can, Steve. At one, he's just like
He's like, he looks
he's
like,
practicing making out constantly to an
he looks,
invisible person that you can't see. But
he
yeah,
looks like Jack Black's nasty hairband brother.
uh,
Uh,
I love that Elaine's fake number was to a bookie or a horse track, which is hilarious. But these guys look like, to bring it to current, they look like they're in the McPoyle family from It's Always
oh,
Sunny in Philadelphia. Elaine's like, "Look, guys, this is getting weird. So if somebody calls looking for me, you got to tell me because I need to get this card so I can get this free sandwich." And they're like, "That's fine, baby. Just give me
yeah.
your real number so I can call you when we get it."
Yeah. You looking for a man? You know who else is a man? Charlie over here. You want to know who else is a man? I'm a man.
He looks like he has a pit with a woman in it at home, but Elaine, thinking on her feet, she's like, "Well, I can't give this guy my real number." So she has to come up with another fake number to give, and she gives out H&H bagels. I mean, this woman is just can't help herself, Steve. Cut to Jerry's after that. One thing, I'm working H&H. Kramer's bringing home some merchandise. He brings over some bagels for the guys, and they start eating them. And at first, he's like, "Yep, fresh off the table, my hands making the dough," and they like spit it out. They're like, "Wait, your hands were in this?" Because they know Kramer. And he's like, "No, I didn't make those." So they start eating again. He's like, "Those are day olds. Even the
Yeah.
homeless people won't eat those."
Also, something important to note, George, he created a card for the human fund. Jerry's like, "Well, human fund, what does that mean?" It's money for people.
Mm-hmm. So now he's got a little scam going, Steve. He's made up his own charity. This is actually a genius idea to
Yeah.
give people fake cards like this. I mean, we'll get to it, but I just got to give George Costanza a little credit. As somebody who likes to mess with people at my job, this is great.
He's crafty. When Kramer tells him that they're also a day old, George is like, "You know what? I'm going to exit stage left." And as he leaves, Jerry's like, "Happy Festivus, George." It's like, ah! And, and then Elaine comes in. He's like, "Yeah, happy Festivus, George." Ah! "What's Festivus?" Kramer says. And Kramer's like, "Frank made a holiday? That's so prolific."
He admires him. And Elaine tells Kramer about giving her number to this guy. So
Yeah.
she's like, "Look, any guy calls H&H, tell me. You got to give me the heads up." So cut to H&H. Frank shows up because Kramer has to know about Festivus. He's like, "You got to give me this lowdown. I'm hearing about it. You got to tell me about it." So he wants the lowdown on the origins, and Frank basically breaks it down, Steve.
"Many Christmases ago, went to buy a doll for my son. And another guy, he comes in and takes the same doll I was looking at. As I rained blows on him, I thought there was another way. And then out of that, a new holiday was born. Festivus for the rest of us."
As I rained blows on him.
Love me
That's
some Frank.
great. It's got some great, cool traditions. At dinner, you tell your family how much they've disappointed you this year, which is great. And there's no tree just because Frank gets distracted by tinsel. So it's a very convenient holiday as well, Steve. You don't got to buy a lot. There's not a lot of like traps and trimmings. And Kramer's all in. He loves a new holiday. He wants to celebrate Festivus. So he asked for a day off from his old boss or his new boss or whatever at H&H. And the guy's like, "Look, man, I hired you to be working on the holiday. Like, you can't take this day off." And he's like, "You're infringing on my right to celebrate a holiday, Festivus. I'm on strike. Strike." And he's back on strike, Steve. Kramer's back on the picket lines. So George at his job, he's giving out cards to a fake charity thinking nobody's going to look into it. It just seems like he's giving charitable donations for everybody in the building to this. So that started. In that taxi, this chick Jerry's going out with, it is Two-Face in a weird magical way because when they're going through the lights, it's night and day, Steve. It's psychologically kind of freaky. So she's a switcher. I think Jerry's even like, she's like a 3D baseball card. One of those where you flip it around and it changes depending on the angle. So it's terrifying, Steve.
Back to talking to George again, he's like, man, you know what though? She does look good in that booth. Frank and Kramer, they show up. Frank's got his aluminum pole and they're giving out invitations. Everyone's invited to the Festivus dinner. Frank pulls out this tape recorder and he plays this old tape of one of the earlier Festivus in George's life. It's time for the Festivus feats of strength. And then you hear George, little George crying.
I don't want it. You're weak. George, he can't take it. He just storms out. Frank and Kramer meet Two-Face, the lady. They're like, oh. But Jerry's like, hey, back booth just opened up. There's one booth in this whole restaurant where she looks good. So he's like, let's just pop over to that back booth real quick. Get into that real overhead lighting so I can get a nice look. So he's got it all figured out, Steve. All he has to do is keep this woman in the back booth at this diner, and he's good, which is not really something that is sustainable. But you know what? It's working for him right now. So we go from Two-Face diner grimy to H&H, and Elaine is literally just sitting there waiting for this call. That sandwich is so important to her. She just has to wait to know where this card is. She gets a call, and it's Kramer. He's like, look, man, you got to get out of there. Sabotage the place. I'm on strike. She's like, where are you at? And he's literally like right outside. She's even like, oh, hey, what's up? But as she's talking to him, we see a steam pipe break. So Kramer's plan like is working. But the guys that are working there, they're not even phased by it. The guy's like, oh, it's broken. Like, what are we going to do? And the guy's like, just keep making bagels. They're just going to be kind of steamy.
Yeah.
That's it.
We go back to George's job, and Mr. Kruger gives George a donation for the human fund, and he's kind of taken aback, like, man, oh, thanks, man. Damn, this is really a thing. He gave me some real money. This is a real check.
Yeah, it's a check for 20 grand too. So this is straight up fraud at this point. That's a large amount of money. But George isn't fessing up yet. He's just got a check for 20 G's in his pocket, figuring out what to do. So we cut to the diner again. Jerry obviously has Two-Face at the diner, but she's sick of it. I mean, this must be like the fifth date or whatever. And she's just like, look, man, we got to do something else other than this. And also, like, this soup, there's a rubber band in this soup. And he's like, this is great. And also, the rubber band, that's just Paco, babe.
Yeah.
Paco. Like, he's totally cool with it.
And George shows up. At this point, Gwen is just like, you know what? I'm out of here. He sits down where she was at and he starts eating some of the soup. He's like, oh, yeah, rubber band. Hey, Paco.
So, George shows Jerry that charity check. He's like, I think I'm going to start my own charity, man. I think I could do it. I'm going to do some good in this world. I got 20 G's to do it. So he's trying to figure this out, Steve, and I'd be doing the same thing.
I want to give back. And Jerry's like, why don't you give back the 20,000? Now we're at a strike, and it's really just Kramer having this strike. Festivus, yes. Bagels, no. Elaine, we also see that her makeup is running. So now she's the ugly chick.
Well, because she's been in a schwitz in the bagel shop, she's steamed to the gills, and she looks like she's been crying. Everything's running. Her hair's down. She is the ugly chick. But speaking of ugly, Kramer, as he's standing outside, he sees Two-Face, and she's like, we've met. Like, I'm Jerry's girl. And he's like, I've seen Jerry's girl. You're not that. Okay.
You're much better looking than her.
Then Elaine, speaking of that ugly chick, she sees Denim Vest. That's out of nowhere. And he feels the same way that Jerry does when he sees Two-Face on a bad day. Because he's like, oh, you look way different than at Tim's. Yeah. She's like, look, man, I know I look weird. She doesn't explain everything, but she asks, "Can you give me your number or something?" So he gives her a fake number, Steve. She
Yeah.
got fake numbered.
She realizes that it's the same number on that moving truck across the street.
That's great.
Then we back to George's job. Mr. Kroger finds out there's no such thing as a human fund. Well, it could be, but there isn't. Look, Mr. Kroger, I can give you the money back. Look, man, you better have an explanation of why you gave me that fake gift. Look, it's because I don't celebrate Christmas and I didn't want to feel excluded. It's because I celebrate Festivus.
I
It's
just
real.
I just didn't want to get persecuted for my beliefs. And he's like, dude, if you don't believe me, straight, I can prove it. And he can. Because he brings that boss over to the Festivus festivities at Frank's, and everybody's there, Steve. It's the majesty of Festivus.
This is a surprise. Who's the suit? He tells him, it's his boss, Mr. Kroger. And he asks, have you seen the poll?
Aluminum. Nothing's knocking this thing down. And I like Kramer shows up with those two crazy looking dudes from the dog track or the horse track or whatever. The uglier guy, he might be in the midst of a K-hole or so. He looks like he's on ecstasy because he's
very sensual.
He's doing a lot with his mouth and lips and his tongue, kind of in an LL way, but it just looks weird. It looks like he's sucking a ghost D, but
And he's eyeballing the hell out of Elaine.
yeah, he wants in. I mean, he sits down right next to Elaine too at dinner. Step one in Festivus festivities, Steve. It's the customary airing of the grievances.
I want to start off with you, Kroger. My son tells me your company stinks. You couldn't smooth a silk sheet if you had a hot date with the babe. Lost my train of thought.
Two-Face shows up in the midst of all this craziness, and she's furious, Steve. She thinks Elaine is somehow this ugly chick that Kramer was talking about. So I think she thinks Jerry's cheating on her with Elaine.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're the ugly chick?" So Elaine's like, "What the hell, man?"
I'm in a schwitz.
So Elaine looks like a drowned rat. She just got called the ugly chick. Jerry's down a chick, even if she has two faces.
She storms off. He follows her, and then you hear him, ah! And then he comes back. Oh, that lighting. Oh.
That lighting on the porch. Jesus. So Kramer, he has to leave, man. He has to go back to work. And they're like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I caved on the strike. I had to use the bathroom really bad. So I just gave in." So that's it. He leaves. As the show sort of ends, this, like, before we get to the credits, it's almost like every Christmas show where you cut to the outside of the house and you kind of like hear all the rumblings inside. But this is not the Christmas rumblings. This is George and his dad about to start the feats of strength, Steve, the Festivus feats of strength, which we heard George previously on the tape. He's weak.
Let's rumble.
And at the end, after the credits, Kramer's making bagels at H&H, and he's chewing a big old gobber of gum, John Kruk level of gum, and he just drops it in the dough, which is my kind of nightmare about going to restaurants in general. Yeah. He's trying to get it out. He can't. And his boss just sees it. He's like, "Dude, you're fired." Yeah. And Kramer, he couldn't be happier. He likes unemployment.
Finally. Yeah, man. Great Seinfeld. This is very apropos for a holiday episode of this show. They did it well, man.
Fantastic.